Hey guys, what is up? This is Mr. A. Crizzy here, and welcome back to another movie review. Today's movie review is going to be on the new horror movie which just came out yesterday, and of course I went and saw it this morning after our local Cinemark movie theater staff meeting this morning. And yeah, I did wear an Air Jordan shirt to the film, but I actually changed into an Orioles shirt since the Baltimore Orioles are playing today. But anyway, so this review is on The Exorcist Believer. The Exorcist Believer it serves as a direct sequel to the original Exorcist from 1973, and of course it ignores all the events of the past installments of the Exorcist franchise, which the only Exorcist movie I've seen before this movie was the original Exorcist from 1973. I watched it last year on Halloween on HBO Max. And yeah, so anyway, Exorcist Believer, it basically goes like this: when his daughter Angela and her friend Catherine show signs of possession, it unleashes a chain of events that forces a single father, Victor Fielden, to confront the nature of evil. Terrified and desperate, he seeks out Chris McNeil, the only person alive who's witnessed anything like it before. And the movie basically opens up with two girls like Angela and Catherine, and of course and then at the beginning of the movie they actually go to this ground pit or something like that, like a grave pit or something in the ground. And then of course they both end up going missing, but once they're found, they experience some demonic possessions. Like, they're basically possessed by demons, and of course the devil, of course. And yeah, and pretty much it's kind of similar to like other exorcists, like possession movies out there. And yeah, it's like, and then of course, like, the real exorcist and everyone else in this film, they have to do whatever they can to try and release Angela and Catherine from the possessions. And yeah, instead of one girl, there's two girls in this. But yeah, so I went and saw this movie this morning after the staff meeting at Cinemark this morning. And I mean, I was kind of interested in seeing this movie, which I know I did this morning. But then of course, since I got to see this movie for free, it's because I've been working at the movie theater for 5 years and going. So I saw this movie for free, and after seeing Exorcist Believer, it was mediocre. It was not just mediocre, but it was also very disappointing and a letdown. It was boring, and it was disappointing and a letdown as well. Yeah, because I did not really like this movie at all. Not because I'm not a fan of horror movies, because I've been liking horror movies ever since 2021. And of course I still enjoyed the original Exorcist from 1973. But really, it's just like one of those possession movies that where they're just trying where it's basically just a cash grab, and it's like, and they're basically trying to throw off nostalgia like into your face, of course, in terms of this movie. But I heard The Exorcist 3 is meant to be the real true good sequel to The Exorcist, like Exorcist 3. But earlier this year in April, there was also another Exorcist movie called The Pope's Exorcist that had Russell Crowe, but I never really seen that one. And and when it comes to the acting performances, they can get pretty weak, of course. The acting performances were kind of weak, but let's just say at least the actors at least tried, of course. Like, that there is some, like, pretty weak acting, but for the most part, it was pretty tolerable of how they're basically trying to, like, being in the film. And of course, when it comes to the jump scares in this film, the jump scares, they're pretty false in this film. Like, and of course when we get to the possession part in the film, it's not even that scary at all, because it's just predictable, and they're gonna have like demon devil voices and being possessed. Like, it's just predictable these days, and it's like yeah, it's basically one of those other Exorcist films, and it's like, yeah, because and what made the original Exorcist from 1973 like really good is because the effects actually still hold up in terms of 70s standards. And it's like, but in today's standards, it's still the original Exorcist film from 1973 still holds up after 50 years. And And yeah, it's just, and of course, and of course, Exorcist Believer was not even that scary because it was not even close to being as scary as the original Exorcist. Yeah, because it was not even that scary at all compared to the original Exorcist. And one of the production companies involved in this was not only Blumhouse and Universal Pictures, but also Morgan Creek. This is actually two of Morgan Creek's newer film releases, along with All Eyes on Me from 2017 being the other. Because this is actually the second newer film release from Morgan Creek. Like Morgan Creek behind Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, as well as Ace Ventura, Pet Detective. And yeah. And also, this movie also comes to us from the director of Pineapple Express and the 2018 Halloween trilogy. Like, because I really love the 2018 Halloween, and Halloween Kills I thought was good, and Halloween Ends I thought wasn't that bad in my opinion. But then of course like David Gordon Green's horror work is getting weaker now that Exorcist Believer was very disappointing and a letdown. But of course I love Pineapple Express, even though that was like more like a comedy film, like a slapstick comedy. But then of course because it's like David Gordon Green's horror career works started out as good when the 2018 Halloween film actually ended up being really good. But I think when Halloween Kills came out, I think that's when his horror work started to die down a bit. I mean even though I didn't really mind Halloween Kills and Halloween Ends, but right when Exorcist Believer came out like yesterday, like I think this comes to a point where David Gordon Green's horror work is starting to get really weaker. And of course, yeah, and I heard there's also going to be like another Exorcist film which is going to be the sequel to this film that's coming out in 2025. And yeah, even if this movie does bomb at the box office, even if it does flop at the box office, I wouldn't be surprised and I also wouldn't be surprised if the sequels to this film ended up getting canceled. Yeah, and of course, I hate to see David Gordon Green's more future horror movies. Yeah, because it's like David Gordon Green brought back Halloween by making the 2018 Halloween, but then of course he actually ended up bringing back Exorcist for a new movie. But yeah, so this movie didn't really work out for me, and of course it was not even that scary compared to the original Exorcist, and then of course like the first 30 minutes of the film is kind of like the first 30 minutes of the film didn't really feel like an Exorcist film at all. But that wouldn't be until we get to the possession scenes. Like when we get to the possession scenes and yeah, because like Morgan Creek's involvement was like the only positive I have with the film. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, it's like. And other than that, Exorcist Believer was just another like horror cash grab, and it's also my least favorite horror film of the year. Because I've seen better horror movies that came out this year, including the ones I saw in theaters, and some of them I watched on digital as well, like The Boogeyman, Scream 6, Megan, and yeah, yeah, because like any scary movie I watched this year, and plus I didn't see Saw X, but maybe I'll probably have to check out Saw X probably on digital, since my dad got grossed out by the trailer. You know, the blood and gore that was in the trailers to Saw X. I mean, I didn't see Saw X yet, but I'm probably gonna have to check it out like once it hits digital and streaming. So yeah, sorry guys. But this year has been pretty much been like a solid year for horror movies. I thought last year was even better, because I saw a lot of scary movies in theaters last year, and it's like, and this year I think this year is a pretty solid year for horror films. Oh yeah, I almost forgot to mention Evil Dead Rise. I loved Evil Dead Rise, and of course Talk to Me. I really enjoyed Talk to Me. And Beau Was Afraid I kind of liked, but that I think that was like more like a psychological movie. And yeah, so yeah, The Exorcist Believer. It's also two of my worst films of the year, because I know it's really bad. Believe me, guys, it's really bad. And And of course, it's two of my least favorite movies of 2023, along with Ruby Gillman Teenage Kraken, because I did not really like Ruby Gillman, and I also didn't like Exorcist Believer either. So, but like I said, luckily I got to see this movie for free, because like I said, I've been working in the movie theater for 5 years and going, both Regal and currently Cinemark. Yeah, I used to work at Regal, and now I work for Cinemark. Yeah, but of course the staff meeting at Cinemark actually went very well. And yeah, so overall, I don't really recommend The Exorcist Believer. The Exorcist Believer was a huge letdown, and I'm gonna give Exorcist Believer 1 star out of 5. Yeah, because my honest recommendation, if you've never seen the original Exorcist from 1973 and you thought this new one looked cool and you were gonna go see it, do yourself a favor. Check out the original. Yeah, I recommend I recommend just checking out the original Exorcist from 1973. Yeah, so there you have it, guys. That's going to be it for my movie review on The Exorcist Believer. And that's going to be it for this video. So make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet. And as always, thanks for watching. And until next time, this is Mr. A. Crizzy saying goodbye, everybody, and that's about it.